It's always three. It's been three for a couple of years. Because we always sit here. And it blocks the aisle up here and people kick in. So I got rid of it. Thanks for noticing. This is David.
Please join me as we light the chalice. The words are in your order of service. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest toward truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
As the flame is lit, let's use this time to quiet our hearts and settle our souls for the hour that's before us. Thank you. Come, you accidental pilgrims, you who find yourself on a journey of surprise and wonder. Come, you who emerge into this place as an act of liberation. Come, you who seek a life of mindfulness and a place to test your thoughts. Come, you who bring hearts of all kinds, heavy hearts, rusty hearts, hearts broken open in revelation, hearts full of love to share. Come, you who seek courage and you who have more courage than you realize. Come, you who stand behind the curtain, gathering up the resources to claim your truth. Come, you who have been in a bubble, you who are poised for transformation. I bid you come. Good morning, my name is Charlie Tyler. I'm the pastoral minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Low Country, and that bid to come is open to all of you who are here. And may you find all of the openness that you need to find in your life and be broke open and then put back together again. This is one of the warmest, most kindest congregations that there is on this planet, my personal opinion, and I think that you'll find that to be true before the end of this hour. And I pray that you're able to indeed begin that process of moving closer into yourself and closer into community, where you have found yourself in a safe place, where you are welcome. You are not needing to be changed. You're just needing to be whole. This is an opportunity for us to be able to welcome those who are guests and visitors. And so if you're willing to stand and give us your name and tell us where you're from, that would be helpful for us. I usually like to go from my left to the right in this section. So on your left, my right, in this section here, guests and visitors for the first time. If you're willing to stand and give us your name, we'd love it. Thank you, sir.
Bill Frederick, this is my wife Katie. We came from Muncie, Indiana.
Well done. Are there others on that side? And in the middle section, first time, yes, sir.
My name is Mike Heilman. I'm a resident of Sun City, and I'm a former member of a Hebrew church in Fairfax, Virginia.
Welcome, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, I'm Patty Burgess. Excuse me, I have much of a voice. I've been in Brooklyn for 19 years, and just wanted to be amongst friends today.
Welcome, you are. Anybody else in the middle? And on my far left, first or second time visitors. Those of you who are here for your first time, I think you will find an extraordinary fellowship. The people that are sitting beside you and around you care deeply for you, even though they don't yet know your name. And I would hope that you find that to be a very real thing in your life as you spend this hour together, and perhaps even more hours as the time goes by. Are there other announcements that I need to bring to your attention before I invite David Kelly up? That's the first miracle. David, if you would, please.
That's a camera.
Good morning. Excuse me. Good morning, everyone. My name is David Kelly, and this morning I'm going to put on my Ron Titus hat. Ron actually didn't give me this hat, but he loved birds. He loved to photograph birds. And in honor of Ron, I'm putting on this wood duck hat. And this is a follow-up on Clay's Stewardship Drive message from last Sunday. Many of you knew Ron, but for those who didn't know him, he was the husband of Donna Titus and the father of our Ann Harrison and Alan Titus. And you would have liked him immediately. Ron was welcoming, gracious, and always interested in what was happening with you. He loved our congregation and contributed to creating the wholesome and accepting environment we continue to enjoy to this day. Ron was a gardener. He loved to grow things. He believed in the idea we drank from wells we did not dig, and we sit in the shade of trees we did not plant. One of several legacies Ron was involved in establishing was coming up front in March or April and asking his fellow congregants to pledge as generously as they are capable of doing. When he asked people to give, he would say something like, "It's the little things we do today that can have an impact on our future. I'm a weak substitute for Ron, but I loved his passion. And in his absence, I want to carry on with his request to provide funds we need to sustain our UUCL culture and the activities that have an impact on our lives and in our community now and into the future. I believe most of you have had an opportunity to review the details of our proposed 2025-26 budget. But perhaps one key takeaway is that 78% of our expenses, including all our programming that we love and embrace, are covered through our pledges. As of last Tuesday, only 60% towards reaching our stewardship goal of $155,900 had been reached. In our timeline to conclude our pledge drive, frankly, we're not tracking to meet our goal. Many of you have already pledged, and thank you for that. There are still a significant portion of us, like close to 60% of potential pledge units, that are still considering what they're able to contribute. I urge you to please fill out a pledge card. That's, I'm sure you've all seen it, but I'm going to pull it out. This thing. And there's only like 3 lines, an ink pen, and you can pledge. I lost my track here. Are still considering. Okay, I urge you to please fill out your card now so that we can better plan for the coming year. Our board actually meets on Thursday, and a good portion of that board meeting is going to be balancing the budget from the results of this pledge. To help facilitate this giving, Sharon Green, right there, is going to be in the Clara Barton room after service, and I think Linda's going to be with her, to help receive and or fill out stewardship pledge cards. Your generosity is truly appreciated. Each and every dollar, whether small or large amounts, help to contribute to the success of our congregation we know and love. As Ron might say, we are planting seeds and watering them for our future. So please understand that time is of the essence, and take action today to fill out a pledge card. Thank you.
Before we go further, I want to acknowledge that one among us is having a birthday today. John Shepard is turning something, but we're going to give him the gift of him not having to play for himself for happy birthday. So let's sing. There's 2 birthdays today. Oh, that's right, Sharon. Okay. Who else am I missing? Anybody else? All right, let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sharon. Happy birthday to you. And for those of you that are guests and visitors who are watching out for your birthday too. It is my pleasure to invite my good friend, Reverend Dr. Neal Jones, to bring the message today. He'll have some opening words, but you should know that this man is gifted and insightful, and I'm pleased to have him here. Those of us that know him, we understand and know what he's capable of. Those of you who are visiting with us, guests with us, you know, and you will soon learn why we have him here. Dr. Jones.
Talking about me? I don't know if this is the warmest, most welcoming congregation on the planet or not, but I do know I've been associated with 9 congregations in my life, either as a member or minister. And I can say this, of those 9 congregations, you are very much the warmest, most welcoming congregation I've ever been a part of, which is the reason why I drive down here to be with you once a month. So thank you for letting me be a part of this. Thank you. Our opening words are by Reverend Gretchen Haley, who writes, "Come in, all who long to know how to love this world, how to keep our eyes open, hands unclenched, arms wide. This is the place to practice, because there's still so much good and beauty and joy. But it can be hard to keep telling this tale with all the news and the wind and the rain. Come in, all who teeter on the edge of cynicism, brokenhearted, and trying still to remember laughter and kindness. And the chance to be alive in these days when so much is at stake. In this place, we remind each other why we persist, giving each other the courage to take this path that is not always easy, to keep practicing the love that cannot, that will not let us go. Come, let us worship together. And let us begin our worship by standing and singing together our opening hymn, 123, Spirit of Life. Let us sing together.
This is the time where we share in our abundance, and I'd like to thank everybody that placed perishable items on the back table when you came in, and I'd like to remind you of the wisdom of Skip Mitchie, who last week said, this is a good time to be more gracious about this and more giving about this than we may have ever been. This is also the time for us to make our offerings that we will receive in support of our beloved faith community for the work that it does outside the walls also. If you're one of our lovely visitors today, please let the basket pass, because your presence is truly our gift. as always, we thank you for your generosity, and please don't forget your pledges.
And now we will share our joys and concerns. And in sharing our joys, we can celebrate with one another. And we share our concerns in the hopes that we can help burden those sorrows. So if you have a joy and or concern, please come forward, take a stone from the basket, briefly share your story after you've given us your name, and then place your stone in the cairn.
Hi, I'm Alice Baylor Block, and this has been a joyful April for me because first time we've stayed here off island, which has allowed us to participate more in this community, coming to the wonderful talent show, and then the music on Friday. And it's allowed Michael to spend more time with his grandchildren. We went to see his grandson play hockey in Savannah. His youngest granddaughter's exhibit on social issues in her school, and the oldest granddaughter get ready for prom. So it's been nice.
Hello, I'm Ron Smith, and I wanted to, this is like a joy, I wanted to share some feelings I had. It was on April 5th, the same day as the talent show. In the morning we had a memorial for my brother, and it was held here, and because this is home to me, so I told my brothers and sisters this would be the perfect place. So we held a memorial here for him, and he had a great life, and his wife, and lived a long life. They did everything they wanted to do, and his body said it's time, you know, and so it was time. So we were able to be here, but I wanted to give some thank yous for the service we had, and I want to thank David and Sarah. David did almost everything for us, and the live streaming was amazing because people across the country didn't have to come at that time. Reverend Charlie Tyler, thank you very much for your comforting words, and that was great. John Shepard played about 3 pieces for us, outstanding, and Marcella Palmer sang a song for us, so it was really a tremendous thing. Since then, I've gotten lots of cards and emails and texts from members here with giving comforting words, and I really appreciated all that. So this is a thank you for that, and I appreciate it.
Okay, we will now read the affirmation together. It is 444 in the back of your hymnal. This house is for the ingathering of nature and human nature. It is a house of friendships, a haven in trouble, an open room for the encouragement of our struggle. It is a house of freedom, guarding the dignity and worth of every person. It offers a platform for the free voice, for declaring both in times of security and danger the full and undivided conflict of opinion. It is a house of truth-seeking, where scientists can encourage devotion to their quest, where mystics can abide in a community of searchers. It is a house of art, adorning its celebrations with melodies and handiworks. It is a house of prophecy, outrunning times past and times present, in visions of growth and progress. This house is a cradle for our dreams in the workshop of our common endeavor.
This morning I would ask the question, is there a difference between happiness and joy? Now I may be splitting semantic hairs, but let me make this observation. And by the way, I do enjoy, I know it's a nerdy thing to do, but I do enjoy examining the root meanings of words. The word happiness comes from the Icelandic root hap, which means chance or luck. It forms the root of the words happen, happening, happenstance, hapless, haphazard. All these words, including happiness, have something to do with things that happen by chance or luck. We're happy when something good happens by happenstance. Happiness is dependent on external circumstances. You win the lottery. You receive a birthday card. There's one cup of coffee left in the coffee pot in the foyer when you're the last in line. Now, joy is also somewhat dependent on an element of surprise. The unexpected happens. But there is, I think, an added element to joy. In addition to an external stimulus, joy also involves an internal state of mind, an attitude of openness, a willingness to be entranced. Joy, in other words, is a choice. Now, all of us have known an Eeyore, someone who will stubbornly snatch gloom and doom from the jaws of joy. The whole world around them could be coming up roses, and all they see are thorns. Lincoln put it this way: most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be. Eeyores have made up their minds to be miserable, to accentuate the negative, whatever the circumstances. Now, I'm not talking about people who suffer from depression. That's a whole different animal. Depression is not a choice. No one chooses to be depressed. Depression is not feeling sadness over a loss or disappointment. It's a malfunctioning of neurochemistry. The brain does not produce sufficient amounts of certain neurotransmitters, and the effects are debilitating. It feels like you're stuck in a hole, and no matter how hard you try, you can't climb your way out. Thankfully, medicine and psychotherapy usually help. But if you suffer from depression, what doesn't help is someone trying to cheer you up, telling you to smile, encouraging you to get over it, or telling you how much better you have it than those starving children in Africa. And that's not what I'm doing this morning. I'm speaking this morning to those of us whose brain chemistry is functioning as it should. Well, more or less. And my point is simply this: joy is a choice. Now, I'm not saying that life does not have its misfortunes, setbacks, heartbreaks, tragedies, and injustices. And I'm not suggesting that you should ignore them. What I am saying is that in addition to life's darkness, there are also wonders and delights, treasures and pleasures, miracles and blessings, all around us, if we but had the eyes to see them. The skies have their storm clouds, no question about it, but the universe also showers us with gifts unearned, unmerited, and unexpected, all the time. The greatest gift being life itself. Just the privilege of being here. I'm not encouraging you this morning to shut your eyes to anything, but to open them to everything. Now, I'll be the first to admit that under some circumstances you have to strain to see the rays of light through the clouds. But they are there. They're always there. For example, you could be a prisoner. Now, it's hard to imagine finding joy in a prison unless you're someone like John S., a member of the Church of the Larger Fellowship, which is a congregation without walls. The Church of the Larger Fellowship, CLF, is the largest UU congregation in the world, connecting members around the globe online for spiritual growth, worship, learning, and mutual support. Many of its members are inmates, such as John S., who recorded this day in prison, quote, shortly after I watched the full moon slide behind the trees on the ridge outside my cell window, Dusty, a young orange tabby cat, made his morning rounds, meowing to everyone he met what sounded to me a lot like, "Good morning." That was a great start to a day that got even better. As I walked to the mess hall, I spotted 2 killdeer on the ground, apparently hunting for bugs before the sun came up. Instead of flying away as I expected, they continued on their mission, ignoring my presence. I've never been that close to killdeer before. Classy elegance. To crown an already wonderful day, my favorite red-tailed hawk appeared, alighting atop one of his favorite perches, a utility pole out near the ridge. He stretched his wings wide, holding them at their limit momentarily, as if he knew I were watching and wanted to acknowledge my presence. Feathered majesty. It's hard to believe that anyone had a more joyous day than I. Wow. That was John S., a prison inmate. Most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be. Making up your mind to be joyful is what I would call a spiritual discipline. Now, I realize that the word discipline is not a favorite word of Unitarians. We like freedom and tolerance and believe what you want and do as you please. But discipline doesn't have to be a bad word. It shares the same root as disciple, which is a student. And a discipline is a subject of study. If you want to learn and grow, you have to be intentional and committed and willing to exert some effort. You have to be disciplined. Cultivating the spiritual practice of experiencing joy requires the intention of looking for the blessings surrounding us and the effort of focusing our attention on them. And if anyone needs to develop the discipline of joy, we Unitarians do, because we tend to be so earnest about whatever we do, especially social action. We are typically on the front lines, fighting for rights, protesting wrongs, protecting the vulnerable, and rescuing the victim. Now, being concerned about social justice can make you angry. And there's a lot to be angry about these days. Anger can set you on fire. But like any fire, if it's not managed, it can consume you. Anger cannot be the sole source of our social action. Our activism has to come from a wellspring of joy, for the sake of the causes for which we advocate, and for the sake of our own souls. Emma Goldman, remember that name? Emma Goldman, an avid social activist in her day, had the right attitude when she said, "If I can't dance, I don't want to be a part of your revolution." Our world already has a surplus of anger. The world we're hoping to build will be no better than the old one if it's built on anger. I don't know about you, but I want to live in a world where we can sing and laugh and dance together. Most folks are as happy as they make up their minds to be. What does it take to make up our minds to be joyful? I think it requires us to drop some attitudes and to adopt some attitudes. Some attitudes we need to drop come from our Puritan ancestors. The founders of any group, whether it be a family, a nation, or a religion, cast a long shadow over its history and development. The Puritans were foundational in setting the course of America, and believe it or not, of Unitarian Universalism. And they cast long shadows over our understanding of joy that live to this day. First, they believe that this world is fallen, broken, irredeemable, and that joy is reserved for the next life in heaven. They viewed pleasure and gratitude as sinful, and pain and misery as being like cleanliness next to godliness. Do you know H.L. Mencken's definition of a Puritan? He said that the Puritan is someone who is deathly afraid that someone somewhere is having fun. Some of us feel guilty whenever we feel good. We need to drop that attitude. In addition, the Puritans bequeathed to us the Protestant work ethic. They believed that wealth and success were signs of God's favor. So they had a religious incentive to work hard, to be frugal, and to save. Now, the religious incentive may have died out, but that work ethic is alive and well. And it has morphed into a workaholism that compels us to be forever busy, productive, and efficient, and never take a break. The cardinal sin of workaholism is leisure time, because that's wasting time. As I noted in an earlier sermon, we Americans work longer hours and take less vacation time than our European counterparts. Yet experiencing joy requires wasting time, in the sense of making time to enjoy your life. Some of us are so busy making a living that we're not enjoying our living. You can't smell the roses if every minute, every day is scheduled with some job, some project, some activity. Joy needs space in our calendars before it can find space in our hearts. If we want to experience joy in our lives, we also need to drop our attachment to our expectations. You can have it your way, may be the slogan for Burger King, but it should be our national motto, because that's the way most of us really feel about life. We've been taught to believe that if we go to the right schools, work hard, play by the rules, and make our plans, then life will turn out the way it was planned. Well, Buddhism teaches us the fallacy of this way of thinking. It teaches the wisdom of detachment. Now, when I first discovered Buddhist teachings many years ago, I misunderstood the meaning of detachment. I thought it meant being apathetic or resigning yourself to the way things are. Detachment, however, doesn't mean that you stop caring or become passive or stop working for change. It simply means that you accept reality. The attitude of detachment is captured by the serenity prayer. Grant me the courage to change the things I can. The serenity to accept the things I cannot change. And the wisdom to know the difference. When a situation is not the way I like it, I have two choices. Either I can change it, if that's possible, or I can change my attitude toward the situation and accept it. You don't have to like reality in order to accept it. If you become attached to your expectation of the way things are supposed to be, then you set yourself up to be continually disappointed and frustrated and angry because things hardly ever turn out the way you expect them to. I can plan a trip to the beach at Hilton Head and expect it to be sunny every day. And if it rains and I'm attached to my expectations, I'll judge my whole vacation to be shot, and I'll be miserable the whole time. But I can practice detachment. I can accept the reality of the weather, which is going to change whatever my wishes or expectations. And then I'll be open to the possibility of other ways to enjoy my vacation, like reading a book, seeing a movie, playing board games with my friends, having good conversations, or listening to the music of the raindrops on the window. Expectations of the way things have to be do not allow room for joy, because joy depends on the unexpected. If we want to experience more joy in our lives, there are some things we have to drop and some things we have to adopt. One thing that would be helpful to adopt when joy has escaped you is a good memory. Remember those things that gave you joy in the past, because in the busyness of the day-to-day, we sometimes forget what gives us joy. Remember your first kiss. Remember that conversation that went deep into the night. Remember your wedding day. Remember your divorce day. Remember when your child first called your name. Remember when you finally spoke your truth. Remember the last time you ate chocolate. Remember, so that you can turn toward those things that give you joy. Another thing to adopt is a set of binoculars. You know, binoculars focus our attention on particular things. This world is a treasure trove of blessings, but you have to develop the discipline of looking for them, because sometimes they're not so visible. I remember something said by Fred Rogers, the Mr. Rogers of PBS fame. He said, when I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, look for the helpers. You'll always find people helping. His mother was teaching him at an early age to use binoculars. Maybe that's one reason he became such a positive person, who helped so many of us growing up at the time to look for joy. A set of binoculars I began wearing a few years ago was keeping a gratitude list. Every night before I go to bed, I write down a list of 5 things, just 5 things, that I'm grateful for that happened during the day. They're usually small things. A cup of fresh brewed coffee in the morning, a funny Facebook post, another driver letting me in the line of traffic. It doesn't matter if they're great or small, because I feel grateful for them nonetheless. Now, what I've noticed about the discipline of keeping a gratitude list is that it's caused me to develop the discipline of paying attention to those moments of joy that occur in my life throughout the day. And I've discovered that no matter how dark the day is, those sparkling moments are always present. They always are. And finally, if we wish to have more joy in our lives, I think it's important that we join the right team. I agree with Sonia Tinsley, a singer, and songwriter, and activist in Atlanta, who says you have to pick your team. She says, "It seems to me that there are two teams in this world, and that you can find evidence to support the arguments of both. The trademark of one team is cynicism. They'll tell you why what you're doing doesn't matter, why nothing is going to change, why no matter how hard you work, you're going to fail. They seem to get satisfaction out of explaining how we'll always have injustice. You can't change human nature, they say. It's foolish to try." From their experience, they may be right. Then there's another group of people who admit that they don't know how things will turn out either. But they decided to work for change. I see Bobby Kennedy on that team. Now, she was referring to Robert Kennedy Sr., by the way. No brainworms here. I see Bobby Kennedy on that team, and Alice Walker, and Howard Zinn. They're telling stories of faith being rewarded, of ways things could be different, of how their own lives have been changed. They'll give you reasons why you shouldn't give up, testimonials why we've yet to see our full potential as a species. They believe that change is really possible. Now, there are times when both teams seem right. Both have evidence. We'll never know who's really going to prevail. So, I just have to decide which team seems happier, which side I'd rather be on. And for me, that means choosing the side of faith. Because on the side of cynicism, even if they're right, who wants to win that argument anyway? If I'm going to stick with somebody, I'd rather stick with people who have a sense of possibility and hope. I just know that's the side I want to be on. End of quote. To which I say, me too. And that's why I decided to be on this team. Amen.
take your hymnals in your hands. Turn with me, if you will, to our closing hymn, hymn number 205. Some of you are familiar with this. May we stand and sing together, Amazing Grace. Mike and Bill and your wife Addie, for the four of you who are visiting with us today that were willing to fess up. We thank you for being here and for sharing this part of your world with us. I want to let you know that we gather back here about 11:15 for what we call our talk back. We'll have a chance to talk with Dr. Jones, pick his brain a little bit, find out what else is under the carpet, and might be able to enjoy more of our time together as well. It's one of the ways that we get to know each other much more closely and intimately. There's also coffee afterwards. For those of you that don't know this about our fellowship, coffee is a sacred drink here. We take it as a communion. As a matter of fact, one of the coffee people back there was bringing out this huge urn of coffee, and he resembled the way a rabbi was bringing the scrolls for the Sabbath. And so that's how serious we take this. You're welcome to stay. I hope that you'll be able to. Dr. Jones, there's a couple other announcements. Yes, you'll see the speakers that are coming up. This coming Sunday, Pat Jobe. Those of you that know Pat, he is in the light. Clint Todd will be here, holding, as he says, hold my mule. Here we say, hold my beer.
That's changed.
So we're looking forward to having him be with us. And I think that that's all that I need to do. And so, Dr. Jones, if you would pass on.
It's not hold my mule, Pat's here.
The closing words are from Reverend Scott Taylor, whom I understand is the organizer of our Soul Matters material that we use each month. He writes, "Joy doesn't simply arise, it flies, it flings. No, it is flung, it's passed, it's spread between you and me, between the one who just received a gift and the one who's been looking for it. It's a beautiful and elegant contagion over which we have more control than we think. If only we share it, if only we notice that joy is not ours to keep, but ours to pass on. So, let's light up this world, friends. Joy blesses us with its exuberance, so we can make that blessing grow."
Please stand if you're willing and able, and join me as we extinguish the chalice. And as you know, the words are in your order of service. While we extinguish this flame, we still carry in our hearts the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment until we are together again.
back. It's
Thank you.